What is up, loyal lads and ladies? My name is Midnight Wolf, and welcome to a brand new series that I am going to call Vane Life Among the Z's. So if you are familiar with my channel, if you've been following along with the Star Citizen game, you would know that I like the Life Among the X in terms of names. We're playing a completely different game this time, a completely different genre of game. I'm quick little quick little tidbit of information about me is I like the zombie apocalypse kind of genre in terms of video games. So I'm I look forward to giving this a try. We're just gonna do just kind of like a playthrough. We're gonna have kind of a goal in mind and try to achieve said goal. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on in because we've got a lot to cover in this first episode because we're going to go through all of the game settings and everything and try to explain as best as I can with what we're doing. So, multiplayer. So I do want this turned on. So the purpose of this particular game is I'm entitling the server Wolf versus the World. You can either assist me or you can be my enemy. The whole point of this is it's going to be a non-dedicated server, which means it's only online when I'm online. And part of that is to kind of keep with the story of me being the main character of this world. But you guys are able to come in whenever you would like to either be somebody that tries to oppose me, or you can team up with me and help me out, or this, that, or the other. And the idea is to create these like fun, dynamic little story arcs that you guys can also be a part of. The only thing that I do ask is if please refrain from stream sniping me or hopping in whenever I am streaming, because that'll kind of stink if you guys have the edge. Obviously, there's going to be people that find a way of doing that, or they go ahead and do it anyways. But that's my only request in that regards. And if it gets really bad, I might make this a private server. But for the time being, we're going to do it public. So hideable clothes. No, I think that whatever you're wearing, it should be what you're wearing. I think that's kind of important. Base damage. Can zombies attack bases? Yes, I think that's fine. Built structure decay. Do you need a utility cabinet to maintain a base? I'm gonna say no on this for now. Mainly because I think having to do a lot of like arbitrary maintenance kind of becomes overkill, and I want my base to kind of still be around for a while. But if we want it to be a little bit more hardcore, we might change that. Built structure decay intervals. At what interval in real hours do utility cabinets consume resources? Since we got that turned off, we don't need to worry about that. Privacy, we've already established that. Server description. Let's see. I am main character of this world. May to help or oppose me. Oppose me. All right, I think that's simple. Very simple description. Maximum players. I think 10's a good healthy number for now. If I need to, I might increase it, and then once again, if I need to add a password, if people start abusing certain systems, and we want to whitelist or blacklist a particular set of players, it'd be nice to have that. But for now, it's open to the public, just so we can start growing as a community. PvP enable or disable player versus player damage. Yes, it is enabled. Allow UC takeovers. Yes, I think that if somebody is able to infiltrate a base, they should be able to take it over, especially since I'm going to be online all the time when this is on, so that way people can't just offline raid me. That's kind of the whole point of this whole non-dedicated server. Offline raid protection. If this is on, players can't claim utility cabinets. To make it fair for everybody that joins in, I'm going to have it to where the offline raiding is on, or offline raid protection is on. Yes. I think that's only fair for everybody else, so that way I can't raid other people's bases that are offline, and also other people can't, raid other people's stuff. So I think that's important. Show scoreboard, sure. Allow pickpocketing, yeah, I think that's fine. Allow remote videos, yes, I think that would be fine. Unless people start abusing that, then we might have to turn that off. Max third person distance, 400 seems to be fine for now. I don't know, we might have to adjust that depending on if people start using third person to look over cover and stuff like that. Maximum character count, how many characters can people have? We'll just max it out. I don't mind if they have multiple characters. Maximum utility cabinets, how many utility cabinets an individual character may build, be an owner of. 0 means infinite. I'm fine with that. If you find a new spot, you should be able to just plop down something and be able to have a way back to it. I think what we're going to do in terms of the preset difficulty, I think standard is a good way to get our feet wet. Eventually we might up the difficulty as we get more experience with this. I think that'd be great. But for the time being, let's just play the game the way it was meant to be played. All right, advanced. We've got a lot to go over, so I'm going to hopefully be able to quickly go over this and explain what I'm trying to achieve here. Containers respawn. If this is on, containers that aren't owned by anyone respawn periodically. I'm going to say no. I do not want containers because we're going to have extra loot, but finite loot. So I don't want, I want there to be a reason for people to have to find stuff, and they've got to branch out. I think that'd be kind of interesting because it creates a dynamic economy that is kind of important. And if everything is infinite, then there's no reason to go out and get stuff. So I think it'd be pretty cool to have limited resources. If this is on, furniture like tables or chairs respawn periodically, only has that effect in multiplayer. I do not want that to turn on. I want whatever furniture is there to be there. Your character's deleted when you die. Be careful. No, for now we'll keep that off. Alright, you are not allowed to manually save your game. Autosaves function as normal, prevents save scumming. Nah. If we need to save, I'll just save it, but I'm not too worried about that. Items respawn in the world. Do items respawn on e.g. shelves, sheds, etc.? Items do not. Loot scarcity. Less loot means a more difficult and fast approaching endgame. Let's do more loot. I don't want infinite loot, but I want more loot. Headshot damage multiplier. How much more or less damage headshots do? Let's do like 1.5. I don't want it to be like overkill, but I also think that if you get a headshot, you should be rewarded. Start time, you can choose the start of the game. First spring. I honestly, I like the idea of the start of the game. It's like early in the year, and then you're trying to work towards preparing for winter as it gets much more challenging. Utility cabinet radius multiplier. Let's max that out because I want massive bases if possible. I think that'd be kind of cool. So I want there to be the biggest amount of space possible, but this may not matter if we don't make utility cabinets mandatory. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Vehicle outgoing Vehicle outgoing player damage. If this is off, vehicles can't damage players. I think that they should be able to, so I'm going to keep that on unless it gets abused somehow. But I think, it makes sense. You run over somebody, they should die. um, Power failure shuts off relative to April 2033. If you start the game later, make sure to take that into account. So in 1.5 months, I think realistically, the grid is going to last at least 3 months. I mean, unless somebody just intentionally sabotages everything, I would think that in a zombie apocalypse, it would take maybe 3 months for things to really, you know, everything to really start breaking down. So I think 3 months is fine. And then kind of similar to water, I think let's say it freezes up after about 2 months. I think that's a fair amount of time to get kind of prepared for having to build your own garden and stuff like that. Um, but not like an infinite amount of time. Time multiplier, how much faster time runs in game compared to real life. 16. I don't know if I really want to affect certain things. I don't want nighttime to last too much longer at night. Like I want night there to be plenty of nighttime. This might be something that we might have to tweak over time, because I want there to be plenty of nighttime gameplay, but then I also don't want nighttime to just last like several hours. So I'll just leave that off for now, or leave it at default. Hunger speed multiplier, I think the hunger's fine. Bear speed, that's fine. Crouch walk speed, that's fine. TV wire distance, default 5,000. Honestly, that's probably fine. Run extra speed. How fast you run by default? Default. I don't want to change too much of what the game is intended to be play as, so we'll be fine with that. Headshots only for zombies. Ooh, I'm kind of tempted to go the Walking Dead approach in terms of zombies. So that would mean more walkers and less runners, but it would be headshots only. I think that would be pretty good. Health multiplier, how much more bullet spongy zombies are. I think that should be by default. Spawn counter multiplier, how many more zombies spawn in. Let's do 2 times. If we need to adjust that, if it gets like too ridiculously hard, we'll change that. Damage multiplier, how much more deadly zombies hits are. Let's dial it down just a hair, like maybe 0.8. Make it to where, because I mean we're already making it harder with the headshots only. So if I can take a few more hits, that would be great. Hearing multiplier, how much further zombies can hear you. I want them to be kind of dumb, but if they do find me, so we'll make it to where they don't hear quite as far. Persistent corpses. Zombies' corpses won't go anywhere until cleaned up. I like that. Because there's an element to the game where if you don't clean up the corpses, then the smell will actually attract more zombies, and I kind of like that mechanic. So I want that to be an actual thing. Sight multiplier, how much further zombies can see you. I won't go quite as low as I did with the hearing, but I think sight maybe 0.8. Once again, I want the zombies to be somewhat dumb. Speed multiplier, how much faster zombies are. Maybe like 0.9. Make it a little bit slower. Speed multiplier, crawling, how much faster crawling zombies are. 0.9. Speed multiplier, walking, how much faster walking zombies are. Yeah, let's do 0.9. And maybe, yeah, no, that's fine. We'll just make them really slow. I mean, we're kind of going for a Walking Dead feel for the game. So we'll see. I mean, with the headshots only, I think that kind of balances a lot of that out. Stagger chance. How likely it is by default for zombies to be staggered from hits? Maybe default's fine. Stun lock chance. 0.6 stun lock duration. The time zombies get stun locked. 2 zombie walker percentage. How many zombies are walkers? I want this to be an astronomical amount. I don't want to be constantly coming across runners, but I don't want it to be too easy in that regard. So I think 90% should be walkers, and then the rest, like there should be like a small percent chance that we get attacked by a runner. All right, hordes. If this is on, hordes will spawn if you make too much noise, have a large base, etc. Yeah, let's do that. Zombies can climb. Can zombies climb over ledges and onto roofs? I'm gonna say no on this one. I think that was one mistake that they made in The Walking Dead season 1 is they made it to where the zombies were climbing over stuff and opening doors and stuff, and it wasn't very realistic. And then they just completely abandoned that in the rest of the show, so it was kind of funny in that regards. But I kind of like the idea of being able to get stuck or stranded on something, be surrounded by a horde, um, and then maybe somebody can come rescue, and that just creates an interesting dynamic. So, but I don't want them to be able to just climb up on anything. So, anyways, um, always zombify. People will turn into a zombie when they die. Well, we're going for The Walking Dead, so yes. And that makes it interesting for looting purposes because now we're going to actually have to go hunt down our stuff no matter how we die and try to kill our zombified version of ourselves. So that's going to be interesting. And then chance for infection, I want it to be as low as possible, but still possible. So 0.01% chance, because like how annoying, because once you get infected there's no coming back. And for a game series that's supposed to kind of follow a character, how annoying is that? Like you just so happen to get unlucky and like the very first hit you get is a killer, is a infection. Like that would suck. So look, we're gonna go ahead and make that as low as possible, but still there is a chance. So, which we might have to balance that over time if it never happens. I mean, obviously, like if I get hit by a lot of zombies, there should still be a chance. But anyways, all that to say, I think we're ready to get started. So we're gonna hop on in. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, and I actually did one take of it and didn't really like how it turned out. So we're giving it another try. Um, so hopefully everything checks out, and I hope you guys enjoy this. All right, right off the bat, so we are going to create a version of Sean Wolf, kind of my default video game character name. Um, so in my Sean Wolf character, he's a multiverse character. So there's multiple versions of him in various different genres of games. So we're gonna just play on that. Let's see. This is a pretty decent base. I don't want to spend too much time on this because the character models aren't the greatest anyways, I'm going to be honest. That's the one downfall to this game that I will go ahead and give it some critique on. But it's not terrible. It definitely could be worse. Let's see. What kind of eyes do we want? Let's just go with bluish. And then desaturated. I don't know what that's really doing. I guess it's changing my skin color a little bit. Yeah, that's probably a fine one. All right, we'll go to the next one. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let's go to face. Oh, wait, we want some hair. See, I don't understand. I'm hoping that the devs can get this figured out soon. Why my character has so many bald spots. I don't know if that's a me issue, like a graphics card issue, or if that's a a dev issue because the hair doesn't seem to really line up. You know what? That's a fine hair. And then the beards are kind of meh. So hopefully they get that sorted at some point. You know, let's do something like that. And so I say all that not to like crap on the game and by any means. Like this, from what I understand, I think it's a very small team. But like I have played a little bit of this, and the gameplay is amazing, and I'm very impressed by what they were able to achieve with this game, because they packed a lot of features into this. I just have a few nitpicks in regards to the character design, and I hopefully there's an update for that relatively soon. But here we go. So let's go ahead and hop on in. I'm not gonna change the face too much because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that. So we've got 3 different stats that we can put kind of master in, I suppose. This grants to your character an initial stat bonus. So I want to kind of base my character a little bit off of me in real life. And so I'm going to go ahead and say I'm an electrician. So it makes sense that I would have electrical knowledge. I think vitality is another good one. Resistance to injury, which kind of makes sense in the grand scheme of being an electrician. So you got to put up with a lot of physical physical stuff. So I think that makes sense. And then um what do we want to specialize in? Dismantling, crafting. I think either construction or crafting would be a good one. Let's go with construction. That just makes sense. Have a construction experience. So we're going to go with that. And because we're going to base it off of electrical, we've got a bunch of different professions here, but we're looking for this guy here. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to go ahead and choose the electrician trait as our starting profession and gear, because this is the stuff that we'll actually start with, which will be got pretty good, decent stuff. Goodness, I'm out of breath. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next one. So here's kind of an interesting one. I think I want to pick 3 different things on here, but I kind of want to leave it up to chance here on these, because these are actually negative effects that affect the character, and I think that it would be kind of cool to actually leave it up to chance, because I'm obviously not like gonna want to pick something that I don't want, but I think it makes sense for for the character to kind of be forced into a specific issue. So I think we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna roll a dice 3 times, and that will determine whether or not we get any of these. So let me roll a dice on my phone here. All right, so I have I think a 15-sided dice. No, I see 16. How many sides is it? It looks like a 16. A D16 is what I've got here. All right, so how many different ones are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 different things, and there's 16 dice roll opportunities. And so the way we're going to do this is, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So because I'm rolling a D16, if I roll a D16 on one of the tries, that means I don't have to pick one of these. But if I roll any other number, I've got to pick those as my 3 issues. So without further ado, and I'll just go ahead and let you guys know what's what. So, or what I roll, and just go from there. So let's see here. All right, the first one I rolled is a 3. So we are going to do Anna's 1, 2, 3. Couch potato. Eating cooked foods causes stress. Junk food has no debuffs. Okay, that's an interesting one. Get stressed out because of eating cooked food. That'll be an interesting drawback. All right, let's do the next one. 13. Okay, so this is 15, 14, 13. Unvaccinated. Your family didn't vaccinate you. You are slightly likelier to get infected with the contagion and can get rare diseases found in. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a brutal playthrough. Okay. This will be interesting. And then the last one I rolled at 11. So 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Oh my goodness. This is going to be terrible. Your character is allergic to peanuts. So I got to make sure I read the labels on everything. That's hilarious. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit next. And now we get to choose our starting location. Danmora, New York, Lion Mountain, New York, Redford, New York, and Saranac. There weren't many. Let's see. A small, loosely connected rural hamlet with a couple small business and mostly single-family housing. There weren't many people here before the apocalypse, and now there are far fewer. I think that's a decent spot to start. I live in kind of a rural location here in Oklahoma, so I think it just makes sense to pick a rural area, and it gives us kind of some goals. So let's just go ahead and finish it up. All right. Welcome to Vane, Life Among the Z's. All right. This is the story of Sean Wolf starting his adventure in the apocalypse. Let me turn down. There we go. Turn down the sensitivity. All right, so now we are here. We just woke up, and let's watch some TV. Let's see what's on here. Well, that's weird. Nothing's on, huh? Okay. Use controls. Change source to disk player. Change source to file, URL. Change source to camera. Live TV. Huh. All of the channels are broken. That's odd. What the heck is going on here? Okay. Very quiet. I knew I had to pay the TV bill. Alright, let's see what we've got here. So this is my inventory. This is what we've got. I think I could go ahead and take some of these and actually dismantle them at some point. For resources. So we can go ahead and check everything out. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why our TV's not working. But while we're here, we probably need to start setting some things up. I got a soldering iron, a crosshead screwdriver, code lock, cell phone, basketball, torn wires, electrical scraps. I don't really have any kind of weapon here, so that'll be interesting. I don't know. So is there, what's in here? Why do I not have access to my own room? I guess I lost my key. Very simple lock, missing lockpick. I thought the thing said I started out with 2. That's interesting. Alright, we'll just go ahead and keep looking around for some things. Let's see. We got antibiotics here. Oh, here we go. Here's a couple of weapons. Alright, I'm a concealed carry guy, so let's go ahead and... We got plenty of Wolfram, but I like 1911, so let's do this guy. And I think the 1911 is a 45, yeah. So let's just go ahead and grab a couple of those. And... chessboard. Secrets of bread. Okay. So now we want to equip it. Add to quick use. Alright. We got ourselves a gun. Now, how do I load it? Split stack. Interesting. I'm gonna favorite this and heart it. Why am I not able to load this? That doesn't make sense. Maybe split the stack? Do I not have a magazine for this gun? Interesting. I don't know what that's about. Well, that's weird. I don't know why it's not letting me reload. So I might need to use the Wolfram. Instead, I'll put this up for now. And then I think it, oh, here we go. I needed a magazine. I'm dumb. Okay. Let's put that back because yeah, we need these. We need the magazines. There we go. If I would just read 2. Okay, so I've got to re-equip that on my hotbar. There we go. Okay, cool. So now we can reload. So we're gonna pretend that we didn't do that all. We're just gonna pretend that we already were loaded. Alright, I guess, let's see. Door is locked. Alright, I need to go check the... Wait, what is going on out here? Do I even have... I don't even have... Alright, let's go ahead and talk to the neighbors. Let's see what's going on with the neighbors here. What the heck is going on here? Why is everybody outside? Hello, Frank? Jesse? What's going on here? Guys? You doing okay? Wait. Is that blood? You have a little bit of a cold there, buddy. You feeling alright? Oh. Get away from me. Whoa, where did you come from? Oh my goodness. Aaron Gonzalez. I need to get better weapons here. Alright, I guess this is it. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. The zombie apocalypse has begun. I gotta make sure I'm doing okay medical-wise. Slightly thirsty. So I didn't get hurt, despite getting hit a bunch of times. We're gonna go ahead and spend some points into electrical. XP gained by a related task. I think that's a good early thing to invest in points. Alright, and then construction, once again. Let's just go ahead and invest in muscle memory so we gain extra XP in those stats. And then I think I have one more point to spend in vitality. Let's do that. Alright, cool. I think we're good to go here. Alright, so we need to come up with a plan here. Plan of attack. I'm gonna have to take out this guy because he's aggroed me. He's kind of slow, which is good. But I definitely need a better ranged weapon. Alright, cool. So that killed him. Mandarin wedge. It's moldy. Yeah, I don't think we want to eat that. Okay. Let's see here. So we got a kayak. I almost said canoe. That's a kayak. We got a compost bin. This is not a great place. We got a zombie chilling back here. Maybe if I sneak up on him, I can level up some sneak. Oh. We've already been made. Oh! Where did you come from? Yikes. Alright, we are about to die. Like, on the first day. And I might be mortally wounded. Did I just attract everybody? I think I did. We need to get back inside. That's not good. Oh, I'm about to die. Whoa, my gosh! I am dead. We are not doing too good. Oh, and I'm dead.